Welcome back to Light Beyond the Ashes, the podcast where science meets spirituality and awakening becomes embodied. I'm your host, Amber Humphrey. Today's episode is a powerful one because I'm sitting down with someone who is not just a guest. She's one of my soul sisters and spiritual besties, Tina Tarr. Tina is an intuitive healer, a channeler, and a woman deeply connected to Source in ways that are both profound and beautifully unique. Through light language and her powerful Tina tap in tune ins, she brings forward wisdom, energetic insight, and guidance that helps people reconnect to their highest selves. And yes, she even works with dragon energy in ways that will absolutely expand how you think about intuition and the unseen realms. Bettina's journey didn't begin in the spiritual world. For more than 25 years, she lived in the corporate world, building a life that looked successful from the outside until the inner call for something more became impossible to ignore. In this conversation, we dive deep into what it really means to surrender to your soul's calling, even when it asks you to walk away from everything familiar. We talk about awakening, the dark nights of the soul that break you wide open, and the divine light that's waiting on the other side when you finally trust the path. Tina's voice carries wisdom, courage, and a frequency of transformation that you can feel the moment she speaks. So take a breath, open your heart, and get ready because this conversation might just awaken something inside of you too. And if it does, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this episode so we can continue expanding together and bringing more light, wisdom, and soul awakening into the world. Welcome back to Light Beyond the Ashes, the podcast where we talk about all things spiritual. And on this one, I'm so excited to introduce you to one of my spiritual besties. I have Tina Tarr here from TikTok. I am so excited to welcome you to my show. You are such an exceptional human being,
Oh,
and I'm excited for people to learn about what it is to do light language and channel and tap ins with you, tune ins with you, and how the dragons have even shown up in your
mm.
world, in your orbit, and how they've helped so many people, including myself. So, Tina, welcome to the show.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. I appreciate being here.
Oh my goodness, Tina. The first time I met you, we were in Indianapolis and I
Yeah.
hugged you and you said, "Ooh, your energy's good." And I said,
Yes.
"Oh, your energy's good." And I immediately connected with you and your soul.
Yeah, that was such a beautiful trip, wasn't it? Just for all of us souls, like-minded souls to get together like that. What a beautiful experience. We're so lucky that
Mhm.
we were able to bring so many of us together in that scenario. It was like perfect.
That
Perfect
weekend.
timing, perfect everything for all of us to come together like that. What was there, like 14 of us? There
Yeah,
was a
there was like
lot.
14
There
of
was
us.
a lot of us. Yeah.
That weekend transformed my entire existence. There's like a pre and post Indianapolis and
Yeah.
like just being in the white dresses. And if you haven't seen it, this is all over
Yeah.
TikTok. We made so many TikTok videos.
Yes, we did.
Um,
Jesse, we love you, Jesse.
thank you for the content. And just I felt like a kid again, and I felt so
Yeah.
free. And I don't know if you remember me, like I have this like super golden doodle energy, and I'm just like jumping around and dancing. And I had never danced and felt so free as I did in the
Yeah.
presence of you and all the other women.
Yeah.
Oh, it was sacred, divine feminine space.
It was the first time that I actually was able to express myself completely fully. I had held myself back for so long with my light language and moving of my hands, all of that kind of like moving energy. I wasn't showing people that yet, not to that extent. And not with that many people around me, with all of the combined energy too. I'd never experienced anything like that. I still haven't experienced anything quite like that because you have to think all of us coming together like that, it creates something special. Not only do we feel free to express our souls, like our complete souls without judgment, but we're just there to play and have fun and be, you know, our truest authentic self, which was beautiful.
Oh, absolutely. And honestly, like I remember when you were speaking your light language, it was just it made me feel safe to do my own because it's also something that no one has really seen. And I still hide it.
Are you doing it? Yeah. Are you speaking it now or?
I'm not necessarily speaking
Okay.
it. I do
You'll
more of
you'll get to you'll get to a point where you're just gonna be like, "I don't fucking care anymore, and I'm gonna speak it." You will, I promise.
I know my Elay is starting to speak her light language more too, and it's
Oh,
it's
okay.
encouraging me to like step into this embodiment. So for those who don't know about light language and they're like,
Mm.
okay, what are these two girlies talking about? What is light language, and how would you describe it to the new listener?
Well, I would say for my light language and how it came in, originally it was from another TikToker. His name is Tyel. He does like light language. He's like way advanced, but he did a session with me with somebody from Hawaii, and I was listening to it because I had never experienced it and was actually thinking, this is really strange. Like, this is kind of weird because I had never heard of it before or heard it before. So
Right.
I didn't think, oh, I'm going to this really cool session and I'm going to hear light language. I had no clue it was going to be to that extent. And it opened up something. I think when you're around other people that speak light language, it like does this invitation to the soul. So for me, light language is an expression through your heart space. So we spend a lot of our time trying to come back to ourselves and find ourselves again. And once we do, once we finally are able to come back into our heart, not our minds, our heart, there's this expression of, like a soul dialect almost, because everybody's different. Everyone speaks different. You'll hear everybody speaking,
Mhm.
and, the key is to not judge yourself when you do, that it's okay that yours is not the same because it's not going to be, but it's an expression of love, really, and it for me, it's shifted. In the beginning, it was just like sing-songy, and I had no idea what I was saying. I was like, "I don't know what I'm saying, but I'm just whistling, through the house where you whistle. This is like light language while you're walking through the house." No idea what I was doing. And later on, I started getting visuals because I'm very visual, very clairvoyant, and started to get an idea of what I was doing, moving energy, shifting energy, which, happens for a lot of my clients where we shift energy, or it's literally a conversation in the purest form. So I think it's an expression from the heart, light language.
Do you feel like it translates to anything, or is it just like frequency and signals of love that are coming through? Because like, you do get the visions when you bring the tap ins with Tina,
Yes.
and the dragons will come through, and we'll talk
Yes.
more about that later. But when I listen to you, like in yours, you are so unique. Yours, I always say, Tina
Yeah.
is more of like this Russian, like,
I know. I loved it when you someone said that. Was it I forget who it said, Shauna. She's like,
uh-huh.
Tina with her Russian light language." Just made me crack up. I'm like, "Yeah," because it can be pretty intense.
Yeah.
And it's very, has a lot of consonants or something. I don't know. It can be intense, and that is because it pushes a lot. It pushes energy a lot. But yeah, mine is a little different than most, I would say.
Oh, I love it though. Like there's something about the intensity that really did like when I got mine, I remember I was smiling and then I'd cry and then I'd be like, "My breath is taken away." Guys, I highly
Yes.
recommend this. Like I I will leave all of this information in the bio and then also we'll talk about it at the end of where you can find Tina because there's nothing like working with you, and I just feel like and then the energetics of the days after, like, there's a lot of
Yeah.
alchemy that happens after you do the
Yes.
light language with us, and talk to me a little bit about why that is happening, because there was a lot of emotions that moved after I had a
Yeah.
session with you.
So, the light language that I speak is and can be interpreted. I'll actually speak it and know exactly what they're saying. Like they'll say something and they're saying, we really need you to focus on your heart space and stop focusing in your mind space. And I'll say it. It's literally like a direct translation, but it's a translation with sound and frequency. So it's all of those things that you mentioned. It's sound, it's frequency, it's intention, and it's energetic. You can move it. Also, a lot of people move it with their hands too. I do both usually when I'm doing my tune ins. And what can happen is spirit will really tune me up and I can feel it. It's like a push that just has to come out when energy needs to move. And I don't always know that it's going to be an energetic push, but whatever it is that you need will come out of my mouth some sort of way and or my heart, I should say, out of my heart in some sort of way and move the energy that's either stagnant or I don't want to say stuck because we're not always really stuck. It's like we hold stuff. We hold on to stuff. It's just
Yeah.
like let me loosen that up a little bit for you. And then it's up to you because you're the healer. You're the one that's choosing whether or not you want to let this go or let it shift. And you're like, why do I not feel so good? It's
Mhm.
because something's trying to bubble up that needs to move. go or exit your field.
It's
Yeah.
like the density that lives in the body, and it's almost like how I'm kind of perceiving it right now is it's this vibration, it's like just shaking it all the way up to the up and out, right? But it was living deep and dormant in your body, and the
Yes.
frequency comes in, and it was like, "Are you
Mhm.
ready?" And then with consent, because it's a free will universe, you say,
Yes.
"Yes, I am ready." And then it comes up and emotions are just energy in motion. So that's,
Yeah.
you're gonna be crying, you might feel angry and agitated, or you might be, sitting with like these old feelings and sensations, like,
Yeah.
"Why am I
Like,
thinking?"
why do I have that intrusive thought right now about that knife over there? I need to put it in the sink really quick.
Like, "I thought I healed this in me." No?
It's
Okay.
like, why is this coming up? It's like a past life something that you're like, oh, up and out, up and out.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
really is
It's like your
transformative.
tuning forks. It's like your tuning forks.
Yes,
You
the
were going to
tuning
go
forks.
there. Yes.
Well, so when I put the tuning forks on in Indianapolis, would help me step into my power with the tuning forks because I have been using them, on some patients and getting that vibratory sensory input, and you can see the benefit of it, and it helps,
Yeah.
you know,
Absolutely.
invoke that the sense of peace. But when I was doing it indie, I was like gonging people, and I was like, "Oh my god, why am I being told to do this?" And it'd be on different parts of the body, and really in this heart space, especially with we talk about with Jen's episode, we discuss this
Yes.
moment,
Okay.
and really this huge primal cry that came out for the mother, the divine,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. And she's
everyone
so
came in the
connected in
room.
that way. That makes sense. Yeah.
And everyone came in the room, and then we were all chanting, "You are safe, your children are safe, you are
Yeah.
safe, your children are safe." Oh, I got chills just thinking about that moment, and how vibration helps you to free and clear up those stagnant, dormant energies that are waiting to be released, but don't have an outlet to do it. And I think
Yes.
whether it be light language or tuning forks or the shamanic energy and the drumming or just any of the frequency music, like, it gives a conduit of the energy to move up and out. Would you agree?
Absolutely. I feel like our bodies are the technology and it recognizes what it resonates with. So
Mhm.
whatever it resonates with and sound obviously is very important in your body, right? So sound and frequency is very important. A lot of people sing and can shift. Like someone can sing a song and bring someone else to tears, right? Or multiple people can get together and sing a harmony together and you're like, "Oh my goodness." Or if you go to a concert and you see everyone singing the same song together, it brings you goosebumps. You can feel the energy shifting and it's just different ways of expressing to move energy, I guess. I mean, we're just our bodies themselves are almost like even our organs are different frequency. You probably know this better than I do. Like we have like different frequencies all in our body and it all has to be in harmony for
Mhm.
it to kind of make that song together and feel us to feel our best. We need that harmonic almost internally too.
What I'm
And
learning.
light language is that tool. Light
Oh, yeah.
language and tuning forks and singing and sometimes even moving. Movement is a big one. Somatic movement. There's
Mhm.
all kinds of stuff.
Brittany
Yeah.
will have us put on music, and she'll, like, after the cacao ceremony, she'll have us dancing and moving and stretching our
Yes.
body, and then, like, in the corner, you see someone crying, and then someone over there is like, "Hey,"
You're like,
and you're
"Oh,
like,
she's going down."
it was crazy. It was crazy to
It
watch people
was. We
we're
were
all
just like,
dancing
"Med team, let's go." You know? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's true. It's moving that energy that gets stuck, especially in our joints.
in our
Like with
hips.
the world, we see the world falling apart and it's like, "Ooh, your shoulders start going up," and you're like, "Oh, I'm taking on the weight of the world again. Just relax. It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay."
Through
Yeah.
breathing, and, like, this is why tai chi is so important is because it teaches you to,
Mhm.
like, you're grabbing the prana, the chi, the life force around you, you're
Yeah.
using your breath, and you're using the ether, and you're moving the energy,
Yes.
and then you're swaying through, like, there's this movement where, like, you're swaying almost like an infinity with your arms and your hips and your body, and you're moving all of the synovial fluid within every joint, so then you have
Ooh.
lubrication in your body, and so you're like, "Okay, from my ankles all the way up to my head and my neck, I have now released and unlocked any of this stagnant energy that's living in the
Yeah.
fascia and in the fluid in the muscles." And we as a society just sit stiff. We have our phone,
I
we
know.
head, like we're so tight and tense. And so when I do things like progressive muscle relaxation or deep breathing and different types of vu breathing or humming breathing, how we started,
Yes. Yeah.
that stimulates the vagus nerve. As the emotions rise, you would see me running around to people and I would like, yes, feel your feelings. When you're
Yeah.
ready, I'm going to down regulate you and I'm going to bring you back into a sense of peace. And so
Yeah.
I think that was just so beautiful that each of us brought our own unique perspectives
Yes.
to that
And
healing
it
cycle.
and it blends, right? So it blends, it harmonizes together. Or we're all
You
together and we share all our different tools because it's all it really is the tools that we can use to get in that mindset to be able to do the work we need to do. They're just little tools and it's not really woo woo. I know a lot of people will say, well, that's so woo woo or that's so strange. But is it? I mean, you walk, how many people walk into a room and they're like, something's off, or near somebody and they're like, I need to get away from this person. They just feel like you can almost feel like a repel energy.
yeah,
You're like, oof, I don't want to be anywhere near this person who's going to explode any second now. You know what I mean? Like you can feel it.
you
To,
can
to
feel it.
deny that we have something more than the human body is kind of crazy in my mind. That's crazy because like we're so connected and every day, every single human being on this earth is using stuff more than their physical bodies. They're
And
using that energetic field too.
100%. And then with that, what was really beautiful to witness was all of us. I feel like Indianapolis really did activate each of our gifts, even and elevated them
Yeah.
to the next level. And
Yeah.
I was watching how I would be amplifying the energy with Brittany, and she's working on one side, I'm working on another side, and I'm just like building this energy. I'm like shooting the Reiki into the space. And then I'm looking over at you and you're doing your light language with your hands. Help me understand because Tony talks about the TikTok history teacher talks about how for me when I'm doing it, because we're partnering now with somatic engineering and
I heard. I'm so excited for you.
we're creating these somatic
Yay.
profiles and we're
Makes
learning
sense, right? Another
yes,
tool.
another tool and we're learning the exact state of your nervous system so we can like attack right specifically to you. But when I do the light language, he's like, oh, you're doing a somatic discharge. You're moving energy and it's somatically discharging and it looks like my hands moving in different mudras. How do you experience or explain what you're doing with your hands when you're doing the light language? Because I think each of us experience it differently.
Yeah, it's for me, it's a little bit light weaving.
Mm,
I like to call it weaving, kind of light language weaving. Um, I don't actually label anything that I have, even my light language. It's not from the Palladians or the Arcturians or whatever. It just is. And
mhm.
the same thing with my light language. It just is. I didn't even know what a mudra was when I was awake. It's like, what the heck is a mudra? But yet I'm holding my hands like this every time I'm like, "I don't know why I'm holding my hands like this." They're like, "Oh, yeah, that's a mudra." I'm like, "Oh, well, I know nothing about awakening. I'm a newbie here." I'm literally going internally and have never like labeled what I'm doing. I just do it. I guess that's the best way. So the light language that I do feels more like weaving. It's like moving and shifting kind of the energetics or tying it, pushing it, pulling it. But I don't think about it at all. There's no thoughts. When
No,
I'm doing it, there's none. No thoughts whatsoever. I'm just flowing with whatever they're doing.
I
Yeah.
find that it kinda does tie a little bit in for me of the energetics with Reiki and, like, how there's the symbols and, like, you're drawing, like, the Choku Rei and you're doing the different types of symbols, the Seiheki, all those different types of things. And so I'll draw the symbols during the Reiki session or on my mind's eye, I'm sending the symbols into the body. But then I realized it was just I'm clearing the field, I'm swiping, I'm doing different things. I find that I'm weaving as well. Weaving is something that I do a lot.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I've glued things together and I'm like,
Oh,
okay,
that's fun.
we've glued all right, we're glued together. You can't go anywhere. You're stuck with me. Cool. Like
Oh, I like that. I
because
actually have seen that before. A couple people use that term. Is it a Reiki term or is that with
no, it was
pushing,
intuitively
pulling, surgery? Like some people say surgery.
yeah,
That's interesting.
I'll do a lot of infinities too, like when I'm working on myself or in my Reiki sessions, with
Yeah.
my Reiki share with the Texas Reiki Alliance, like I find that I'm, doing a lot of the infinity symbol and then like I'm swiping and
Yeah.
clearing and my Reiki master Bonnie is incredible. She teaches me new symbols every time I go and new techniques and everyone can feel my energy. They're like, "Oh my God, you're very powerful." And in that, I start getting the downloads.
Yeah.
That's when you start getting the downloads and you hear the clairaudience and the
Oh, yeah.
clairvoyance, you're getting the visions and then the actual messages too. So talk me through what it's like for you to start getting now that you're in the channel, explain
Yeah.
it to somebody who thinks that what we're doing is crazy cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Like,
Well,
what are you experiencing?
we're all so very, very different in how we experience, right? So, we all have and grew up with different perspectives. If you would ask me 5 years ago that I'd be doing what I'm doing now, I'd be like, I don't think so. I don't know
Mhm.
what kind of for Cocoa Puffs train you are on, but I'm not on it. You know what I mean? I would have never ever thought that, even though I've always had like a little sliver of strange in me. But how would I describe it? I mean, tapping and tuning in for me really started with meditation.
Mhm.
And I thought everybody, once they started meditating, could see visions and feel stuff. I really didn't know. I had no clue. I'm like, oh, yeah, I just thought an eagle flew in, stood at the end of my hand. I don't know. I just thought I just went to Egypt. I don't know. I didn't have any clue about what it was. I just experienced it. And for others, I didn't really share it at first. Um, I shared a little bit of I'm meditating because that is accepted by society. And the reason why I started meditating was because I used to work for corporate for 25 years and developed high, crazy panic attack anxiety. I just couldn't keep it was a lot of work. I ran a sales operations department and was flying all over the place. I really didn't have time for my family or myself. I was constantly on. I was carrying the two phones, the work phone, my regular phone, and I was stressed to the max. Sometimes I'd have to pull a financial statement presentation together for the VPs the next morning. You know what I mean? So 9 o'clock at night, I'm building presentations and building decks. And like, I was never able to rest. So I started getting panic attacks. And I went to the hospital for one that was really bad. My muscles started curling, and I really thought I was having a heart attack. I thought for sure I was going to die. And in the hospital, they're like, "Oh, that's a panic attack. Your heart is fine." And I said, "Well, what do I do?" I was like, "What am I supposed to do?" And I went to my doctor, and my doctor's like, "Well, we can give you these pills. You
Mhm.
can take these pills." And I looked at her and I said, "I don't take pills, and I don't really want to start taking pills. Is there anything else you can do?" She was already writing the prescription out. I'm like everybody takes the pills, you know what I mean? Like she looked at me like I was strange for
Like,
not
you
taking
were
the
the weird
medicine.
one. You were
I
the
was the weird one for not taking the medicine. Yeah. And she's like, "Well, I mean, you can go to therapy or you can try meditation." I'm like, "Meditation? Yeah, right. I can't shut this sucker off for nothing." You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I was like, I've never done that before. But I did. I started meditating, and it took about 6 months for me to get out of my I got to go, I got to do, I shouldn't be sitting here. I've got so much I got to accomplish. Like what if somebody texted or messaged me? There's probably something in my inbox that I need to get done. And in that early meditation I realized I needed to quit my 25-year career, climbing all the way up to the top, making a ton of money. I had to quit for my own health and my own sanity. I had to let it go. And COVID happened.
Wow.
COVID happened.
I got chills.
And I had to tell all my managers, I'm like, "You guys just bring your laptops home. This is probably only last a few months." Little did we know. But everybody's gonna work from home. We'll do the best we can. And I was brought in by, the upper CEOs and stuff, and they were telling us that we had to choose an employee to let go. We were cutting people. And I said, "I choose myself. Can you lay me off?" And
Whoa.
they're like, "No, sorry." I'm like, "Then I'm gonna quit." I said, "Either you lay me off or I quit. And I would prefer it if you lay me off so I can get a package." You know what I mean? Because they were doing packages at that point, COVID and all that, you know? Talk about divine intervention, how that all panned out. And so I finally did. I got brave enough and I pretended like I was getting laid off during the HR thing, even though I knew it already. "Oh, I'm so sad, 25 years. Oh, where?" It's like, "Yes, I'm out of here with a package." You know what I
Time
mean?
for you to go
But
heal.
then I was like, Wait, how the hell am I gonna make money once that money runs out?"
Yeah.
Talk about trusting. But then my meditations got stronger and stronger, and I started seeing clearer and clearer, and I realized I had more to fall away. Like crash and burn, baby.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
we already quit our job, now we need to quit the 14-year relationship. I'm like,
Yep.
"Yeah." He was making me so miserable,
Uh,
and I left him. He moved back to Indiana, and 14 years of relationship and a 25-year career. Talk about a tower moment.
wow.
What the heck am I gonna do? That was my whole identity.
Right. And I think that's when you go, is that the moment that your awakening sparked?
Mhm.
And then tell
I
me a little bit.
started realizing that not everybody had the clear abilities that I had. I took a mediumship class and I went to quantum healing hypnosis. I got certified in quantum healing hypnosis, and went to Hawaii and did a bunch of classes out there so I could just kind of refine it. And was like, all right, I'm going to do quantum healing hypnosis. I'm going to write. I decided to write a children's book because I got that in a meditation. And I also do like this soap business. So I sell this soap with little prizes inside. And I did all of that and was so happy and free. And it felt so good to not work well, all the time, work all the time and like flex and move. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it feels like something's off. Shouldn't I be planning something? Shouldn't there be a plan? Like,
Right.
leaning and trusting is so scary, like, from, like, 1 month and it still is, right? From 1 month to another, you don't know what's gonna happen,
It's terrifying.
and you have to adjust to living in that, I don't know, frequency, that timeline, or what do you even wanna call that? It's, experiencing life as flow versus demanding your it's very different.
How I would describe it is that we stepped out of the masculine energy and we stepped into the feminine. And we had
Yeah,
never fully felt safe enough to embody the feminine energy because we had to control, because we were hypervigilant, because of our environments, because of our roles, because of the expectations of the society of you do this, this, and this. And that's the programming, right? The programming of the
yeah,
patriarchy is like everything is very action based, everything is task oriented, everything is
yes,
do, do, do. And I'm like, listen, Linda, I'm not a human doing, I'm a human being, and I have no idea how to be,
that's
right?
true,
And
yeah,
like, when I went through my awakening, I got really, really sick, and I had a horrible,
mm.
horrible betrayal, and I had someone trying to steal everything that I had ever worked for,
Yes, I
and
know, that was
that was
awful.
devastating, right? But in that moment, like, my doctors were like, "You need to be away from that space, like, you need to be working from home." And then I started working from home, and I was like, "Oh my god, I get to be a mom. Oh my god, I get to be a wife.
Yeah,
Oh my god, I get to be a human. Like, I get to go to the park at 2 o'clock on a
yeah.
Tuesday. That's solid. I love this. This is so much fun." You
It's
know?
foreign almost too, right? Like,
Yeah.
what do you mean in the afternoon I get to go out and sit in the grass? What? Am I supposed to be here? Is this allowed? I don't think this is allowed. What if my
It's
neighbor
against the
sees me
rules.
relaxing? What if someone sees me relaxing? You know what I
We're
mean?
so used to this, just like everything has to be fast paced, everything has to hurry. And I'm like, no, savor that meal. Sit down and enjoy
Yeah,
the conversation. Just
it
lay on the
is.
couch and not fold the laundry. And I think that
Yeah.
we don't understand, especially us women. We are so good at taking on the world and we neglect ourselves.
Mhm.
And in the neglecting of yourselves, like everything that I heard you saying, I was like, oh, you went into sympathetic activation in the nervous system. That's what happened for you. Right,
Mm.
you weren't in freeze
Okay.
mode, you were very action driven, so fight or
Yes.
flight, everything is a fire, everything has to be done now.
Yes. Very, very driven. I will. Yes.
Right, and you were
Yeah.
very good at it, me too, too,
Yep.
everything was a
Hmm.
fire, I'm always running everywhere, I'm like, "Is walking a choice? Can I walk?"
And literally running, like literally run to the barn. It's just like
Yeah,
running everywhere.
and I'm like,
Time,
"What in the
time.
world?"
I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time.
And then, like, all of a sudden I catch myself, I'm like, "There's no emergency, like, I can actually just walk." And so, and that's getting into this, what I call it's polyvagal theory, but, explaining it, it's the ventral vagal state, which is where you're happy, you're regulated, you're calm, you're focused, you're
Yeah.
social, you're relaxed, right? But because of the situations of our society and how we feel like we have to be, it puts us into a state of burnout and it makes us feel like we're the problem. And then we
Yeah.
get disease, we get dis-ease, we get inflammation, we get chronic stress, we can't sleep, we have mood disorder, where I have depression, I have anxiety, I have insomnia. No, my love, your nervous system is begging you to listen.
And
And
they're just
we
gonna tell you, I get a pill for every single one of those things.
yeah. It's a Band-Aid on a bullet wound, that's what I always say. But it's like when you think about what you experienced of, "Hey, I'm just gonna go meditate. I'm gonna put on some music." Maybe it's guided meditation, maybe it's frequency music. I'm gonna close my eyes, put a sleep mask on, lay in bed, and I'm just going to let my mind turn off and I'm going to breathe. How radical is that in a society where you have to run everywhere and you have to go, go, go?
Yeah.
And I think it's the bravest thing that we've ever done is to choose
Yes.
ourselves
Absolutely brave. Takes an immense amount of bravery
to survive it.
to lean in and trust that everything is working out for you.
How tell me about what it was like to walk through the dark night of the soul after you chose yourself, after you chose to leave the job, the relationship, and to really just choose healing. It's not all light and love. I think that's the biggest misconception about a
Was
spirit.
very, very dark. It was very, very dark, and to the point where I couldn't actually heal all of it at once because I felt like I was getting sucked down in a vacuum. Because a lot of times I'd be like, "What did I just do? You worked for 25 years to get to that level, and you just let it all go."
Mhm.
Or, um, the relationship, I never really questioned it, but just the friendship, losing, my friend of 14 years, he was just like, I knew it was the right decision, but the companionship, like, I'm gonna do this all by myself now, you know what I mean? I got nobody to have a coffee chat with, you know what I mean? Like, just like those little things you take for granted of somebody helping you in your space or going on adventures together. I had to mourn that friendship and that separation, and I had to mourn who I used to be, and boy, did spirit take me on all kinds of journeys back then. I was like, like, "You're gonna walk across this bridge and we're burning the other side." I'm like, "Really? Okay. I guess I have to let my old self go." A lot of old self releasing to sitting in the new self and be like, "It's okay to just go outside, sit in the grass, relax, eat slowly. This is not a like speed, like we don't need to get everything done quickly. If something doesn't get done, it's okay. Come out of the mind and go into the heart." That was the biggest one for me. Come out of this and come here. They always kept saying, "Go within, go within, go within." And I didn't know what even frequency music is. Like, so
Mhm.
meditation for me, I went outside and sat in my apple orchard. I have a little apple orchard, and I'd sit in a little swing in my apple orchard, and I would just sit there and just listen and be quiet and see if I could for me, I was like trying to get the thoughts out of my head. I was fighting myself the entire time, when all I needed to really do was just sit there, observe the thought, and be like, "Oh, hi, bye. Next. Hi, bye," until there was a bigger space in between each thought, and that space got bigger and bigger and bigger. And in that space is when I was able to finally connect in and get answers and questions and trust the answers and trust that the answers that were coming was really what I was hearing. I'm like, I'm just making this shit up. I'm
Right.
losing my mind over here. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, well, you have to learn to kind of, it's all steps, like one layer at a time we peel.
It's an
One layer at a
onion.
time.
It's an
One layer
onion.
at a time.
That's
It
what I've always
really
was
is.
shown is, like, not only are we onions, but, like, the realms for which we live in and the dimensions of time and space are like onion layers of onions, right? And you're just
Absolutely.
always peeling back more layers, and in that, in the unraveling, you I feel like I died so many times, Tina. I don't
It was
even
so
know how many
hard. Yeah.
deaths I've
So
had.
dark.
So dark, and I almost didn't survive. Like, I'm very open about the fact that it got so dark to where there was multiple occasions, about 5, where I felt like, "I can't do this anymore. It's gonna be easier if I'm gone. It's gonna be easier for everyone else if I'm gone." And
Yeah.
I got really, really close to it in September of 2024, and I was like, "I'm done. I don't have any value anymore. Everyone would be better off without me." And it's like the depths of despair of feeling this deeply hurts
Yeah.
so profoundly that I
Yes.
think I can do it one more day. And
Yeah.
so I'm so honest about that. Not that everyone's gonna experience that level of depth of sadness and grief and despair, but I do think when your identity dies of who you think you are, whether it be your job,
Yeah.
whether it be your roles, your relationships, who you think you are, what value you bring, your, your purpose, and you see
Yeah.
getting taken from you, and you're like, "Wait,
Yeah.
I saw this. I was told it was gonna get better, and it's not better, and then, God, are you real?" And, like, you're yelling, and you're just like,
Oh,
"This."
yeah. I had those moments. I had those moments all the time. And I'm like, "You told me when I quit my job and I left my boyfriend that everything was going to be great." And I was pissed. I was angry. I was like, "It's not great. I'm sad all the time." I'm like, "This is not what I thought it was going to be." I felt abandoned.
Yes.
Like, why can't I hear spirit clearly like everybody else? I was comparing myself. I started comparing myself. Why can't I see like everyone else can see? Why can't I do what everyone else could just like have a conversation with spirit guides? And at that point, I could not. You know what I mean? And I was mad. I did the work. I did what you said. Brr, I just And then I'd go outside and there'd be like 100 feathers. It's just like, or something would happen and I'd be like, okay. It's just like you were saying, re-regulating yourself from this. But it's constant. It's a constant up and down. Even now, you're like, what the January? This past December and January were dark. We're like,
Oh my
what is happening in
god,
this world? Like
so dark.
I can feel it in my body. Why am I here? What am I doing here? Because I don't know what I'm doing here. You know what I mean? Questioning my identity and rewriting myself again. It's just
Yeah.
like, ah,
And I think, like, the more tell me if I'm wrong, but the more I'm on this journey, I'm like, "Listen, I have no idea who I actually am going." Like, I've seen who I become. The visions are there. I know that I'm doing that.
yeah,
However, I don't know how many times I'm going to evolve through the process of becoming that person, and I have
right.
to release the expectations of what it looks like and who's with me and who's beside me and how it looks, what steps come next, because that's when our brain starts taking over, and our
Yeah,
brain is really just meant to, like, process and synthesize and validate the sensory perception information that we're getting from our environment, but our
yeah.
heart is the guiding compass. Like, I just recorded a channel message that I'm gonna share later today, um,
Okay.
and it literally is about the heart is your compass, and when you
It
listen
is.
to it and you choose love and you lead with
Yes.
compassion for yourself and all others, and everything that you do in this 0 point stillness of neutrality, released from outcomes and expectations of how it looks, you just know, "I love this vision for myself. I love this vision for Earth, and I'm gonna put that into the field, and I'm gonna just know that the universe has no other choice but to say yes." But that
Yeah.
goes both ways. If I'm gonna self-doubt, if I'm gonna think that there's lack, I'm not gonna have that contract, I'm not gonna get that person, I'm not gonna get that job, whatever it is, the
Yeah.
universe is like, "Sounds good, yeah, that's exactly what you're wanting. Thanks for putting."
Whatever you want, darling. Here you go.
And it might take time. It might take some extra months that you didn't expect or years, but eventually you're gonna get that and you'll be like, "Why is this happening?" I'm like, "Your external reality is a literal physical manifestation of your internal state." Right? The more
Absolutely.
dysregulated you are, the more you're holding on to people, places, and things that no
Yes.
longer vibrate with your frequency, the more you're going to be miserable.
It's like, why do we have to be so hard on us though? Like sometimes I'm like, really? You're gonna put an ice dam on my roof and leak into my house so I know that I'm leaking energy? Why? Why?
They can
Can't you do it in a nicer way? Just like be nice.
use the ice mate,
Or
like,
trip me and I fall down and then I have to like or give me the COVID and I gotta be on the couch or something
okay, they get
for a
me sick.
week.
I get sick every so often, and they're like they knock me on my ass, and it's because I don't know how to rest. It's because I don't know
Right.
how to just lay down. It's like, "Oh
Yeah.
god,
I was like,
another bout
what
of
the hell?
pneumonia. Yeah, here's
This
some
is not
pneumonia."
this is it's not love and light, man, but it is really.
It
It
is.
really is.
Because then I laid in bed, and then I meditated, and then I channeled, and I wrote for the first time in weeks, and
Right, exactly. For me, it was letting, other people take care of me, which I'm not good at. I'm very independent. I'm like, I can do it myself, But like for me, it's always something. Now I'm at the point of the awareness where anything happens, and I'm like, what's the message here?
one of the
What's the message here? Like, well, I
one of
need to listen so it goes the F away. You know what I mean?
one of the other things that it told me in this channel was every lesson that you've learned is is a tool that you are required to have on your journey. So every single step and
Yeah.
thing that we work through, that lesson fortifies us for when something comes in the future. Now you already know better. Now you already
Yes.
equipped. It was like,
Yeah.
I don't know, what is the game like Zelda? Like just walking around like collecting different tools.
Collecting tools.
Uh-huh.
No idea what we're gonna use these tools for, but I'm sure it'll be evident later.
We're gonna
I
build the
know,
new
it's
earth
true.
together, and we're just gonna all of us are bringing this energy together, and, like, I know that we can laugh about it because there's such a connection of this
Yeah.
understanding of the grief, and I think I find it very hard sometimes, maybe you can relate to this, of talking to people who are not awake, because I'm like, "Oh, you don't know how deep I am. I am so deep."
I know, I know. They don't it's funny, like, for example, the people that are not awake or aware, it's almost like they go into a deer in the headlights moment. They don't know how to respond to you. Just like me and my brother were in the car, and my brother's he's awake but in a different way, so I can tell him all my weird stuff and he tells me all his weird stuff. And he loves UFOs. He's fascinated with aliens and stuff. So it's kind of fun. So we're driving to New York one day, and me and my brother in the car, and his fiance's in the back seat. And we're talking weird stuff. I mean, I'm telling him my visions. I'm like telling him of Egypt and stuff like that. And he's loving it. We're chatting and chatting and chatting. She couldn't handle it. She passed out.
Like fainted?
She completely fell asleep. I'm like, what just happened? She's like, I don't know what to do with any of this. I'm going to take a nap. Just- so if people are not ready to hear it, they won't. They
No.
literally physically can't. It's weird. It's so strange. She's snoring in the back seat and we're talking about just whacked out stuff. And she's just, yeah, she
Okay,
couldn't handle
so,
it.
we were on the group thread this morning. I was talking with Jesse, and then we sidebarred, right? And so we're just talking about fun content creator ideas, and I was like, "Have you ever realized, like, how hard it is to talk to people?" And, like, you realize, like, looking left and right, I'm like, "Man, I've lost a lot of friends. Like, we don't talk anymore." And so how spirit tells me is like, I'm talking about the esoteric universe and I'm talking about quantum entanglement, da, 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 and I'm explaining it in a way that like I
Yeah.
think makes sense. And I'm like, isn't this so fascinating? Because I can't just say, hey, how's the weather? I'm not at all interested. It's modified by the government. I don't really care.
Yeah, I know. Did you see the
Allegedly.
chemtrails today?
Allegedly. Yeah, that's my own opinion. And and then you have the other people and what they're hearing is wah 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 wah
Yeah,
wah
they
wah
just
wah.
don't, they can't, it doesn't process. It's
We're on
really
different
interesting.
frequencies. We're on different radio stations, and it's
Yeah.
not good or bad. Like, literally, I'm never gonna say I'm better than anybody else. It is not that. It is that I am on such a high vibrational frequency, and when I have these podcasts, it's actually my favorite part of the week is because I get to just talk weird, and I'm like, "Hey, girl, can we just be weird for a minute?" And then the rest of my day, I feel like a muggle, and I'm like, "I'm a human.
Yeah,
Let
back
me
to the
feel."
muggle world. You know, it happens both ways too. Like I'll listen to someone on a lower frequency and I'm like, all I hear is wah, 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 wah. I'm just like, what are they talking about? I forgot what they're talking about. I probably should pay attention, but I'm not interested in it
I know.
whatsoever.
And they feel the same way, and this is where everything is inherently neutral, and
Yeah.
I'm walking through this right now, and so, like, with no details shared, like, I'm feeling, dissonance between different people that I love deeply, very, very deeply,
Yeah.
and there's no good or bad, no one is right or wrong in the situation. It is literally like we don't know how to communicate
Yes.
because the gap between frequencies is so high, they're so
Yeah.
large that it makes you feel kind of alone sometimes when, like, the people that you feel like you want to connect with the most, you can't, and then you get
Yeah.
excited and you wanna share what you know, and they're like, "No, I don't understand that." It doesn't matter who it is, it's just like, "I don't understand that." And I'm like, "But are you excited and curious to learn? Because 'Cause I'm a really curious person, and if I don't understand something, I wanna go learn it." But I just find that a lot of people are not curious anymore. They're just, like, so programmed that they just believe what they hear, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Aren't you interested in seeing what else there is?" And so when I talk to you, I'm like, "Tell me about the dragons, because that's where we're going next." I'm like, "I'm curious about the dragons 'cause of the your I do not talk to dragons, but I really enjoyed getting to know my dragon through
Yeah.
you."
Oh,
So,
good.
do you find that, like, that's just been challenging is the gap?
So I find that those people don't show up in my reality as much anymore.
Mm,
I see them, I can relate to them with conversation that's just brazing over, "Hi, how are you? Oh, that's great to hear. Bye." You know what I mean? It's almost like they can feel the disconnect as well and they wanna move. They wanna move on, they wanna move away from me. It's like they can't, well, obviously they can't handle the vibration. It's
mhm,
not in harmony, is what I always said, as our vibration no longer harmonizes with theirs. In fact, you can feel the almost like a magnetic, it just
mhm,
pushes each other away. But so dealing in the world is really weird. It's you're standing in the line at the bank doing your muggle stuff, and it's like I just had a meditation where I was wherever I was in the universe, and literally here I am now and doing bank stuff. It's
yeah,
like it's really hard to live in the in between
mhm,
where you can fluctuate between being human, which is really important to remember that you're human too, and to do the human stuff because it grounds you. But you can also like jump dimensions and remote view into stuff. It's like, it's strange. You're like, nobody here even is vastly aware of the things that I see or do. But then I realize I'm not aware of anything that they can do either. It
Mm.
goes both ways. You know what I mean? It's kind of a lonely road, but I'll tell you what, there's a lot of us waking up right now.
It's so much fun. Like, I think that's what I love so much about, like, the TikTok community or even, like, just social media in general. I don't really find a lot of connections on the other apps. TikTok is where all my best friends are.
TikTok is the best. Yeah.
Like, that's where my soul family resides.
Yes,
Um,
mine too.
and I think that's part of why they wanted to kind of push to shut it down. It's because so many people were getting access to knowledge that had been hidden for a really long time, and it's so easily shared, and then we connect, and we're like, "Oh my god, did you know this and this and this?" And then it's just I'm utterly fascinated by what each individual is experiencing, and I wanna say that it's the information. I'm gonna talk around this a little bit. The information that is globally being released about the truths of the nature of our society and our governments
Mhm. Yeah.
is really hard to digest right now,
Yeah.
and they know everything that you and I are talking about is common knowledge to them. They
Yes.
they understand the power of the frequency of fear as a mechanism of
Yeah.
control, and they understand the power of love as a mechanism of manifestation, and humans are very powerful in their manifestations, and we see this reflected in the Schumann resonance. When something big happens, you'll see
That's right.
the power of our energy, whoa, ramp up, and
Yeah.
you see us collectively experiencing joy or fear or sadness or grief, right? And we are one unified consciousness experiencing
Yeah.
the fractals of what it means to be Tina and Amber and Maile and Kristen and each of the individuals, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
This is just who and what we are at the foundational truth, but we've been made to feel fragmented and separated from one another because then when we're divided, we're not as powerful together. But when
Yeah.
we unite in love and when we unite through the same unified conscious field of I want to create the new earth together, which is love and harmony and divine feminine and nurturing and beautiful, the matriarchy,
Yeah.
healing for all, access to healthcare for all. Everybody has access to abundance because food should be abundant, water should be abundant,
Yeah.
clean, good food, clean, good water. Like
Yeah.
these are the things that if we all put our attention on together, the power of a meditation, a global meditation, what that would actually do energetically, oh my
Oh
God.
yeah. Oh yeah. We create our own realities. So absolutely. I mean, I see us shifting even so right now we're in our United States mentality of, oh my God, I hate it here. Like,
Girl.
what's the newest news? Like this place sucks, you know? But really we're on the planet Earth.
Mhm.
We put ourselves in the box of United States, but there's no borders really in the earth but what humans themselves have created. It's another division, right? We divide all these little things that divide us, including borders of states and towns and the countries, right? That at one point there will be and I feel this in my heart, like a global something that will take care of humanity as a whole. Like we got you. It doesn't matter where you live and what you experience. This is the rules of the world. We, like humanity, and like you said, like we're here and we're paying to live. Like I
Mhm.
just the whole setup is going to change. Everything's coming up for a reason. Everything, every single thing that's going to bubble up. I'm sure it's going to be more. It's just like I don't want to see it anymore. You know what I mean? You're like I didn't know it was going to go this dark, but here we go. You know, because it
Mhm.
needs to come up and out, just like internally in our own worlds, has to come up and out. It's like inner world, outer world. And then even on a global, you can see it globally. Our inner world and in the global world, you can see it reflected all the way out. And like you said, layers, all
Mhm.
those different layers of
Yeah.
healing, not just internally, but externally too. Yeah.
And I think it has to happen in a way that doesn't cause that ontological shock where everyone is just like brains just break, right? Like you have to be given
Like it is
doses.
now.
A little, we're toeing the
I don't
line.
know. We feel like we're breaking sometimes.
We're toeing the line right now. I'm like, all of us light workers who are holding on, we're holding this frequency. We're just like, I'm tired, because we can feel the collective. I think that's what people might not understand who are listening is that when newly awakened people are waking up, you and me and all of these light workers and star seeds and people who do not resonate from being from Earth. Like, let's just be real, this is a dimension and a realm for which we exist within, so we can have a physical experience of knowing what it's like to experience contrast because we're non physical forms, beings of light.
Yeah.
And so we inhabit the human vessel. We're just like, all right, let's go be a human and have amnesia and forget everything we know and go
Yeah.
pretend and experience, right? We feel the collective grief. Like when everything was coming out about what has happened to women and children and infants, I think that a lot of us were deeply mourning. And I was like, this
Yeah.
doesn't feel like mine. Why am I so sad? Why am I so angry? Why am I crying? And I was like, oh, this is what the collective is feeling. Right. And
Yes.
so it's like,
It's the awareness. We're aware of the emotion. Everyone is feeling it, but they don't have the awareness of what it is. Like I'm in a grouchy mood today. I don't know why. That's old self. I have
yeah.
no idea why I'm so crabby or angry or frustrated or sad. I have no idea because they have no awareness of it, but they're feeling it too,
Mhm.
even
Yeah.
if they don't have the awareness.
And people are, like, financially struggling so much that even those of us who are in the like, our tribe,
Yeah.
who have really we've worked a lot on our alchemy of understanding lack and abundance, like, we get this stuff, like, we understand it logically, and a lot of the times we feel it spiritually in our heart space, but then when everyone else is, like, losing their jobs or losing their healthcare or
It's
losing, like, we
hard.
feel it, and then we're like,
Yeah.
start worrying
It's
about your
tough.
own self. Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard because they say, like, we have to fix ourselves first before you can fix others, and other people's lives are not for us to fix. It's hard to step back and be like,
So
"That's
hard.
what they chose." You know what I mean?
Your soul's
That's the
still
lesson they
expanding.
chose. You're like, "Oh, that just feels that's hard." It's hard. You're like, "Yep, they chose that experience." It's really and especially with family, you're like, "Boy, they chose a hard experience. Like, why did they choose
Mhm.
such a tough one?" But there's a reason behind it, but maybe we don't understand it, but there is a reason behind everything. We just don't see it
It's alchemy.
always.
It's alchemy, and it's here for us to transmute it, and so I will go from being, like, normal, walking around, and then I got a message the other day, turn off the lights, get in the Epsom salt bath, turn on the white candles, and release, and I was like, "I'm good." They're like, "No, release."
No, you're not. You're like,
So,
"Okay."
I got in the bath, and I had the most divine feminine sadness, grief. I could see the maternal line throughout history and the sorrow,
Yeah.
loss, and it was tremendously painful. And then it shifted into the male lineage, and it was, like, realigning and removing distortions of toxicity and violence and aggression, and it was very stoic. I went from crying uncontrollably to stoic and in this masculine energy of what I knew I needed to do, and then I got out of the bathtub and I was like, "Well, that
What
was a
just
lot."
happened?
Yeah. And this is Amber After Dark. This is just what happens. I'm like, I've got a few hours, a window of time to go get weird.
Bathtub Chronicles, man. If the bathtubs could only talk from women around the whole world, the things they would say. Just ask Amber. Bathtub Chronicles.
Oh my god, shit gets so
Closed
weird.
session.
It gets so weird, and it's just like,
Yes.
well, I guess that's what we're doing, and I think I don't call it obedience in the sense of, like, I'm being a good little girl and I'm being obedient. I find that the more I listen to the higher voice that's calling me to do something, the better my
Yeah.
life gets and the
Yeah.
easier things flow. And so it's just like listening to that inner call, you know?
Yeah, it's paying attention to stuff that shows up in your life and having the awareness of asking why.
Mhm.
Sometimes we don't get the answer either.
I would like to now dive
That's
into
all.
how did we find dragons? How did we get dragons?
Okay, how do we get to the dragons?
I really need to know more information. When did it start
Yeah.
and what do you experience? Please
Well,
and thank you.
so I went on my meditation journey, after I left corporate, right? So I was meditating and I was I was taking little classes and doing guided meditations. And I'm like, wow, this is so cool. I can see stuff. I was super, super excited. And I discovered I was tuning in for myself a lot. And somebody challenged me to tune into them. And I'm like, I don't know if I can do that. Like, I can tune into rocks, but I wasn't thinking I could tune into people. I don't know. I don't know. I questioned myself. I wasn't sure I could do that, but I could.
Mhm.
And as I was doing tune ins, dragons started showing up. And it took a while before they showed up. And I think we have to embody a certain frequency in order to host their energy. Like, their energy is pretty It's almost aggressive. It's a little high. Talk about angry Russian. The dragons are like really intense. But my light language definitely shifts when the dragons come in. And it took a lot of like my body was like somatically moving when I would, in the beginning, I was just like, I'm never going to show anybody any of this because the way it moved my body, because I couldn't handle the energy. But on the tune-ins, when I do a tune-in, a tap-in tune-in for people, it's on a little recorder. They don't see me, they just hear my voice. So I'm moving all over the place. I'm like, "There's a dragon coming in," and tell them everything that I see, and people were like, "Can you just go in and just tell me about my dragon?" I'm like, "Yeah." I have not tried that. So I tried it with a few tap-in tune-ins, and sure enough, and then I was like, "And maybe I can draw them." Then AI came along. AI came along and was like, you could just tell it what you saw, and up comes a nice, beautiful image. I don't have to even draw them anymore. I used to sketch for them.
Ooh.
They're like, "Can you draw it? I'll pay you to draw my dragon." And I used to do that. But now, AI, I don't need to do that anymore. But the dragons would come in, and there was this one night where I've only done this one live, where they're like, "We really," they kept showing up everywhere. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, fine." So I did a live, and I think I tuned into about 15 people back to back to back to back, and just told them what I was going to see, and talk about a variety of dragons. Like some people who have like access to past life portals, some people who work with the earth. Some dragons are like huge, huge, monstrous dragons that gobble up the emotions of the collective energy. They just gobble it up. That's their job. They just go around gobbling up all this energy, trying to keep Earth in balance. Or some dragons work with people, and they're kind of funny sometimes too. One of them that showed up with the tie he's like, I was like, "Are you wearing a tie?" He's like, "I'm very smart, and you know what? Just because people can wear clothes, we can too." And then, like the dragons with there was this one dragon that had all this jewelry on. I'm like, "Okay, all right."
The
They're like, "We can
fancy
dress
dragon.
up too. Like, what's the rules here?" The one with the tie was the best. Oh my gosh, the dragon that came in with the tie. I'm like, "This dragon is wearing a tie." He's like, "I got the library of the Akashic records."
Oh my gosh, this is so fascinating. So you're visually when you say that you see them, you're seeing them with your third eye, so you're seeing it internally, not externally in the room, correct? Just to clear
Yes. Yes, it's all visual. I don't see externally as much anymore. I did when I was a kid, but I don't see externally as much anymore. It's mostly in my mind's eye, yeah. But I see them, and what I do is I ask a lot of questions. So it's exactly like quantum healing hypnosis, where you guide someone and you're asking them questions and they see for themselves. When I tune in, I have to ask, it's like I have to be two people. I have to be the observer and then the one observing. So I'm asking questions like, "Can you show me your eyes? I'd love to see your eyes." And zoom, here comes a big yellow eyeball, Here's my eye, "Can you show me what you look like, zoomed out? Can you show me what your skin looks like? What do you do? Why are you in her energy? Is there something that you do? Some of them are like, well, it's not just her. I work for her collective that
Wow.
are, or I work with a few other people, or I just work with her. She's my person." Or some of them had past lives. Like on Palladia, I think, like a couple of them have been like, "You were a dragon rider and you could speak telepathically to us." Like, it's just wild. It
Does
just
everyone
like
have a
blows your
dragon?
mind. Is that what?
Does everyone have a dragon?
Generally, yeah, from what I've seen, I not out of those 15 people that I did after another, there's always one that comes forward when I ask. And again, it's either personally assigned to them or because they agreed upon it before. Sometimes a past life, sometimes it's to help with energy moving. Or some people are alchemists, a lot of alchemists, people who alchemize have dragons. Or sometimes it's like a group of people have one specific dragon. So you never really know. Like I've seen one collective dragon, he was like Game of Thrones big. I was like,
Oh, wow.
his eye was like the size of, that little person that stands in front of that big dragon head. You're like, whoa,
That's
wow.
so amazing.
That was mostly for a collective consciousness where they were helping processing energy for masses of people, which is kind of neat. Yeah, so you never know what you're going to see, but I can see really good with detail. They show up, they're like, "Here I am," zoom, and they get real close. I'm like, "Okay, back up."
But
Here
you know
I
what
am, here I am. I'm so excited you asked for to see me, you know?
but you know what's so crazy is, like, when you do your Tina tap-ins and tune-ins, they're so wildly accurate, right? Like, same thing with mine, like, I'll say things during Reiki and through my channeling that I'm like, "I have no idea how I know this. You've asked me to get into your
Yeah,
energy, you've given me permission, and I tap in and I set my protections, and then listen, I'm getting these messages," and they're so incredibly specific that I'm like, they're not even like, I don't like
yeah,
doing names and stuff, like, I don't like giving, like, "Oh, your grandma Susan is coming through," like, I don't like doing that because 'cause I'm wrong every time I've ever tried, but
right.
it's the exact message they needed to hear of a conversation they had without
Yeah,
me that week, and I don't know you very well, so how the hell do I know this? When you do yours, the messages that come through because you're
yeah,
seeing the dragons, you're talking to the dragons, you're also channeling, and you're doing light language, and you're
yes.
speaking light language, and then you're just getting these messages, and they are spot on accurate. Like, is that
Yeah, and
what
it's not me, which is the craziest part. So it has evolved where I had to get out of my way because there
Mhm.
was a time where I'd be like, "Oop, I see a pyramid. You must be a transmuter." I was interpreting in the very beginning. And now I'm just like, I see a pyramid. And
Period.
let's wait and see what spirit tells me. So yeah, it's like a vision quest, just like quantum healing hypnosis. I see for you and kind of go on this quest. And it's kinda magical. Sometimes it's like watching a movie. I just sit there and I'm like, "I don't even know these people." Half the people I've done, I get a first name and that's it. Don't know nothing about I don't know how old they are. Sometimes I'm like, "Are you a Kristen man? Or you should I would just wanna say he, she, right?" You know what I mean? Like, I
Mhm.
know nothing about the person whatsoever usually. A lot of people come back. A lot of people come back and have multiple. But, the new people are my most fun because that's when I have to surrender the most, and
Yeah.
that's what it takes. You have to completely surrender and be like, "I'm gonna tell you every single thing I see even if it doesn't make sense. I'm just gonna state it." I'm like, "Oop, Statue of Liberty." Don't know why that came in, but and then they come in and are like, "Yep, we're thinking of going to New York," or "My husband's in New York right now." Just
I mean, do you find that, like, the more that you've gotten into this and you've really allowed yourself to surrender, that it's actually intensified in its powerfulness because you are
Yeah,
not trying to control it and you I think we're both kind of at the point where we don't really care if anyone believes us, like, it's up to you. If
yeah,
you want to believe me, cool. If you don't, that's also cool. I don't gain anything either way other than you usually gain peace or understanding and, like, you get
yeah,
some wisdom, right? Do you find that you just have surrendered now and you're just letting it
yes.
flow?
Yeah, now, I used to be nervous when I go into a tap and tune in. I'd be, like, grounding myself, and I'm like, "You all better show up. You better show up." Just like, "This person really needs you right now. You better show up." Now it's just like, they just show up.
Yeah.
Some people will be like, "Can you ask about my relationship?" I'm like, "Sure, but I can't promise you what I'm gonna see." And then boom, first thing I see is a heartbreak and a heart. I'm like, "Okay, there you go." There's the answer. They show up every time and it really does take a trust fall, just like everything else, right? Takes
That's
a
a
trust fall. I'm just gonna go sit and I guess it's gonna happen and I guess I'm gonna see things and I guess I'm just gonna record myself as I see things.
yeah.
And it's wild to get people's responses like, "How did you know that? That's crazy." I'm like, "I don't know anything.
It's the
I'm just
quantum
telling you what I
field.
see." And then I forget it. And someone's like, "Hey, remember my dragon?" I'm like,
Nope.
remember your dragon. I'm sorry. I don't. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I remember some of it, but I've done over 400 readings now at this point.
Tina, that's amazing. I named mine Frank.
400.
I think I was like, I have a dragon named Frank.
You do? Okay.
Yeah, he was blue. He was blue. You sent me the AI version of him, and I named him Frank. I was like, that's my dragon. His name's Frank."
Oh, I love it. See what I mean? They're kind of funny. They're just like, you think like Excalibur. They're like, no, I'm Frank.
And I have a tie on. Okay, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Do you think that you could show the world because I'm like, we've already destigmatized and talked about how, like, it's not really that weird. It's just we're tapping into something that people don't understand. Would you feel comfortable sharing a little bit of light language and just whatever comes
Sure.
through. And this maybe that's like a if your intention could be a message for the collective and it's like a super brief Tina tap in to see what comes through.
So, as I go in, I'm really visual, so I'll try not to interpret it. I haven't been a channeling as much. I know it's funny how people's specific gifts come through, but yeah, it's funny you feel it like you're like, "Oh yeah?" You just feel
Or if
it.
you need more of an intention, maybe
So
like for me, the podcast.
let's see what comes through. I can absolutely tap in. So the first thing that I'm seeing right now is let me just kinda get myself in. Draya satra karo, dra aro andra ai, iri ishikia tasata akio. So the first thing that I'm seeing is like the light, and it's actually your podcast. It's very much anchored. It's they're showing me the light that's coming in and the earth feeling of grounding through our heart space. And they're showing me that's cool. The sharing of information, kind of like the infinity symbol. So the back and forth of us sharing together. And it's when it goes to you, it connects to your heart. When it comes to me, it connects to my heart, is what they're showing me. Let's see what else they show me. They're showing me grid lines on the earth. There's a lot of people that are working on grid lines. Dra karo tra asiti shiero taro, dra ayara andra asatakai. They said, we see you, we see all of you and working in your different ways. They're showing me the grid workers right now. Dra akara andra sata ishikia. So I don't know who's going to see this that's a grid worker. So that's interesting. They're showing that the work for the grid workers right now is really important. Ra'akai itriishi ko uru ukara a satra a iero umbukui. There's a lot of energy that needs to be purged
Mhm.
in order for the energy to flow right. That's what they're showing. Dra'asata'a. They said, stay with us. Stay with us. Like, um, it's almost like Daki kia sai shi iandro tara kaara o ikisika. So I was like, you know how you say stay in the light? It's almost like just keep your faith as we keep moving along is how I'm feeling. Anti iro tu shutro toka ara andra ast. As things fall apart, other things fall into place.
Oh,
That's
that's
nice.
beautiful.
And they have their hands out. They said, for those people who ask and who are asking for guidance and enlightenment, it's almost like you have to ask for it or ask for it, and don't be afraid to ask for it. Is what they're showing. They're showing me light being handed to people's hands. That's kind of nice.
That's so beautiful.
It's hard to see beyond the darkness sometimes, like and stay in the light when everybody's worlds are falling apart, and watching other people's worlds fall apart is very difficult.
Mhm.
So yeah, they're going back to the grid workers again. So I don't know who the grid worker is out here. They said your work is important, really important
Yes.
right now. So that's interesting.
Thank you
Yeah,
s
you never know what to expect. I never know what to expect when I tune in like that.
it's so beautiful and peaceful, and I'm just, like, completely enamored, and I'm just like, "Keep going, I could listen to you for hours." I'm so grateful that you surrendered to your gift because, like, I pray that this finds the person who's holding back, who they're like, "My voice wants to do these things, my hands wants to do these things. I'm in my bedroom alone, but I'm a little nervous of being weird." Like, Tina and I are doing this, and we're alone in rooms right now. It's just the 2 of us in this space, but we know that it's gonna be shared with the world, and we have overcome so much fear to be able to have the nervous system that can hold this level of frequency of we know what we're doing is for the highest and greatest good of humanity and for ourselves, and we feel liberated. Like, I feel
Yeah,
liberated by
it does feel
break.
liberating. And they can too. It's really strange, how people have stage fright. And that very first time they go up, they're like sweating through their shirt and they're freaked out. But by the 50th time, they're like, "Pff, I got this."
Mhm,
There's going to be a moment in everyone's life where they're like, fuck it. I'm sharing it and I don't care. And
mhm.
it happens just like a switch. It's really strange. You're just like, I guess I don't care. And then you show somebody something and they don't react. And you're like, why did I hold myself back for so long? And nobody really even gives a crap. They're just like, we either can't see you or hear you, or it's not a big deal. That's
Yeah.
pretty neat, or that's pretty cool. Like my mom, when I first shared it with my mom, I'm like, oh, strict Catholic. This will be interesting. And she starts crying. She's like, "Oh my God, it's just like in the Bible. It's the tongues. You're speaking the tongues." She says she was able to relate it in her religion on what I was doing. And she's like, "I felt that. I felt that." And here, this whole time, I was so afraid of sharing that with her. But then I did, and it wasn't a big deal. It surprises you.
It does surprise you, and I really think, like, the stepping into the out of the spiritual closet and into the light because, like, there's so much, like, intimacy and isolation, and you have to go within, and in that,
Yeah.
you really do, like, you push the world away, because you're still doing so much self-discovery, and it's such a brave thing
Yeah.
to walk through a spiritual awakening, and I always say to people because I really my entire focus of why I was called to do this podcast because I was fucking terrified,
So
like,
proud of you.
"Thank you, I'm so scared, it's been so scary."
You're so good.
Thank you. Because I had such a blocked throat chakra because I was so afraid of if I spoke up, I'd get in trouble. My words are trying to get used against me to this day, and it's obnoxious and annoying, but
Sure.
I'm just don't care anymore. I'm not doing anything that's hurting anybody. I'm actually here to help people, and I'm sharing, like, ancient wisdom. I'm sharing modern medicine. I'm sharing what I know about the nervous system. I'm sharing what I know about channeling and spirituality and yada, yada, yada. And when I do this, I know because I get the messages from all these different people, these strangers who become soul family, and they're like, "Your podcast made me not feel alone. I was so alone. I didn't know if
Aw.
anybody else could do this. I thought I was the only person who could channel. I thought I was the only person going through an awakening because they live in rural America or wherever in the world, and they don't have anyone else waking up, because so
Yeah.
often we are waking up alone, because
Yes, we
it's
do.
a private journey, right? It's an
At
individual.
first, we have to go in. Yeah.
You're in the
Yeah.
wilderness, right? How Yeshua talks about being in the wilderness, and
Yeah.
sometimes your gifts will kind of disappear for a minute, and you won't hear, and you won't
Mhm.
see, and you won't know, and you won't feel, and it'll freak
Yep.
you the hell out, but keep going and be brave because it is still there. It cannot leave you, but sometimes it disengages a little bit for you to lean into that trust fall that it is really real, and
Yeah.
trust fall was the word that opened everything up for me. Like, that was I
Yeah.
literally the very first time I ever wrote anything ever, as an adult that was meaningful, was a poem called Trust Fall. And when I was flying home from Mexico after I fell in love with myself, I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm beautiful." Like, I never thought I was beautiful. I never thought I was
Yeah.
worthy. I never thought I was really something that would be, received well because I had been hurt and turned on and betrayed and talked crap.
Yeah.
Like, I thought I was worthless. And then on after this vacation with my best friend Trudy after her birthday, I was like, "Actually, I'm pretty fucking great."
You're fucking amazing.
And I wrote Trust Fall and I landed, and I shit you not, that was the night that
Yeah.
Pink released her song Trust Fall, her album Trust Fall and her song,
Aw.
and I was like, I had
I
never
love music speaking to us. It's so fabulous. Yes.
and that's exactly what this is I'm hearing a higher calling, it's my higher
Yeah.
self, it's my spirit team, it's my ancestors, it's God, universe, source, it's plasma, higher
Yes.
consciousness talking to me, guiding me, showing me the way through, and I just had to have the trust fall of a lifetime to keep going and not give up and not
Yeah.
take myself out of the game. And then each time a new spiritual bestie would come in like you and
Yeah.
reinvigorate me, and I was like, "Oh my god, where have you been my whole life? I love you." So anyone who's feeling alone, like, there is tribe
Yeah.
waiting for you, your soul family
That's
is
right.
waiting for you, they're gonna come right in divine timing, you're never alone, you could never be alone even if you wanted to be, your spirit team's still there,
They
and
never go away even when we don't hear them, they're still there.
Mhm.
Trust, surrender, lean in, and know the darkness is part of the journey too.
Absolutely. Tina, where can people find you? Because I know that people are
Yeah.
gonna be like, "I wanna find out who my tribe is."
Sure. So, it's Awaken Inner Peace across all socials and awakeninnerpeace.com, on my website, so they can book tap-in tune-ins that way. I have a new client, cost and a regular repeating customer cost because I really love new clients and I like them to all have an opportunity at a low price to just experience what a tap in tune in is. But that's where I can be found is on Awaken Inner Peace pretty much across all. I tried to keep it simple
So
because
you're on
that's what it
TikTok.
is right now. We're going easy and simple. We're making it easy, right?
What platforms are you on? You're on TikTok? Are you on YouTube?
I am on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and I don't really do much with my Facebook one. I keep that to my family mostly, so I don't have that one set up. But mostly TikTok because TikTok, for some reason, the people that are drawn to that app originally that are still there are
Mhm.
still there. And
Mhm.
they are the ones that have been through a lot of growth. I mean, we all needed something to cheer us up during COVID, right? We all needed that fun, and we were all kind of drawn into that app. So that's mainly where I'm at,
Me too.
is on TikTok. Yeah.
And I know it's getting messed with right now, but at the same time, I can't leave just yet. I just feel like I'm still called
We
as
can
a
still shine on and make it what we want, right?
I get 4 views, but I'm like, "High five, Amber, you got 4 views."
Poor people.
And it's just I think the
It's all
community.
good. Just
Ugh,
keep
just
going.
keep going.
Lean in, trust, surrender. It's part of the project
Well, it's
and
just
process.
algorithm. What's so
Yeah.
funny is the videos that get suppressed the most are the ones that are about unity and peace and love, and I was like, "Really?
I
Love
know.
love your neighbor as yourself." That violated. I'm like, "Oh, I did."
I know. I know I've gotten some of that too. Remote views into some places that they don't probably want me remote viewing in. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
oh, okay. I see. YouTube.
Tina, this was one of the most
Hilarious.
fun episodes I've recorded. I know anybody who's listening probably had a smile on their face too.
Oh,
Is
good. I'm glad.
is there anything that you wanna share with to send off with anybody before we leave?
We said it at the beginning. I mean, we said it just now.
Mhm.
Trust, surrender, and lean in. And this is not easy. It's not all butterflies and sunshine, but that's part of the process.
Yeah.
Because how can we see the light if we can't be in the dark, right? How can we rise up from the ashes if we don't burn everything down?
Mhm.
And just know that you're not alone. Like, there's actually a lot of us that are going through the same things. I mean, we have a friend group, right?
Mhm.
And everyone's like, oh, yeah, me too. Oh, yeah, me too. Oh, yeah, me too. We don't realize a lot of us are experiencing the same emotions, just different varieties.
Mm.
Or in different ways of things that come up in our life, different varieties. So just keep going.
Yep.
Just keep going. Yeah. Keep
Thank you.
swimming. Keep swimming.
Just keep
Just keep
swimming.
swimming.
Oh, we've got this, guys. Thank you so much. What an
Yeah.
honor to have you with
Thank you.
me. You did incredible. I love you so much.
Love you too.
All right, everybody. And I just want you to know that this energy is so powerful. We are rising rapidly, and it is true alchemy to go through what we're going through. Never let fear win. Always choose love. Always lead with your heart, because the heart vortex is the most powerful thing that you have to offer. You're putting it out into the field through creation, through love, and the universe has no other choice but to say yes. I know that we can transform this earth into a more loving, prosperous, abundant, beautiful, sacred space that it was always destined to be. And as a reminder, when I heal, you heal. When you heal, I heal. And when we all heal, we rise. We're in this together. You're not alone. I love you. We've got this. Keep going.